Hey, good morning. Today is day 10 of our 31-day challenge to study together the book of Proverbs. And so I invite you, if you would, to take the Word of God and turn, please, to Proverbs chapter 10. And we are now entering the second section of the book of Proverbs. The first section of Proverbs is chapters 1 through 9, but this second section includes chapters 10 through about chapter 24. And in this second section, the style of the content has changed. These next several chapters are full of contrasts on a variety of topics, and therefore these chapters lack the continuity that we had previously seen in chapters 1 through 9. And on the surface, the content of Proverbs 10 seems somewhat random. But from what I can tell, there are two major topics addressed throughout this chapter. And hopefully you've read this chapter before watching this video, and maybe you've noticed these two themes as well here in Proverbs 10. The first theme that I have noticed is wealth. According to my tabulation, at least 8 times in these 32 verses here in Proverbs 10, wealth is described. It's in verse number 2 where the writer helps us understand what real profit is. It's righteousness. There's no eternal profit in a life full of wickedness. Verse 3 explains that the Lord provides for the righteous, but the substance or the wealth of the wicked, he casteth it away. In verse 4, he reminds us of the importance of personal initiative when it comes to pursuing earthly wealth. Do you see personal initiative in verse number 4? Then in verse 5, the wisdom of setting aside your wealth for the future is described. Then later in the chapter, there's a condemnation on being a sluggard, being lazy. Earthly poverty is not evil unless it has occurred because of laziness. Then you get to verses 15 and 16. They help us further understand the profit of righteousness with an illustration about earthly wealth. When you take verses 15 and 16 together, the Bible is teaching us that the righteous life provides the security of a strong city, but the fruit of the wicked tendeth to sin and destruction and eternal poverty, which of course is the absence of eternal wealth. I like how the songwriter said, I'd rather have Jesus than silver or gold. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have Jesus, then you have everlasting wealth. Secondly, and primarily, this chapter helps us understand the power of words. As you read through this chapter, you might circle or count up every time you see the word mouth in Proverbs 10. Not only that, but over and over again in this chapter is the word lips. Comment below and let me know how many times you find the word mouth in chapter 10 and how many times you find the word lips in this chapter. Interestingly, the word prating is mentioned twice in this chapter, only 3 times in the whole Bible and twice here. And that term follows the theme of the power of our words because prating is foolish talking. It's describing a babbling fool. That's what it means. And then this chapter is concluding with more contrasts when it says, the mouth of the just bringeth forth wisdom, but the froward tongue shall be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked speaketh frowardness. So as you go through your day today, be careful with your words, because death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your words have the ability to speak strength and encouragement into the hearts of others, or your words can further promote excuses and coddle other people's weaknesses. Proverbs 10 has a lot to teach us about what real wealth is and what our words should be. This is what the Lord has taught me from Proverbs 10. Please comment below and let me know what the Lord has taught you. And be sure to check out tomorrow's video explaining Proverbs 11 as we continue together our 31-day challenge through the wonderful book of Proverbs.